I've always been the one who checks the doors twice. The one who stays awake when the house finally falls silent. When Emily was born, something inside me rewired. Every creak of the floorboard felt like a threat. But lately, the unease wasn't about the outside world. It was about Sarah. She'd grown distant. Long phone calls that stopped when I walked into the room. "Just work," she said, smiling too quickly. I wanted to believe her. Instead, I began cataloging details: her lateness, her distracted eyes, the way she'd stand in Emily's doorway long after bedtime. That was when I bought the Nightlight, a silly star shape, warm and harmless. I told myself it was for Emily's comfort. Deep down, I knew I was lying to both of us. Setting it up felt worse than I expected. My hands shook as I plugged it in. I told myself it was temporary, just until I could quiet the storm in my head. Emily stirred, rolled onto her side, then settled again. She trusted me completely. I sat in the rocking chair, watching her breathe, and wondered how I'd crossed into this territory without noticing. I wasn't raised to spy. My parents talked things out, but I didn't want to fight. I wanted certainty. Later that night, I sat alone in the living room, laptop balanced on my knees, waiting for something to happen. Anything. The screen showed nothing but shadows and a sleeping child. I should have closed it and gone to bed. The first time I saw Sarah enter the room on the feed, my heart skipped so hard it hurt. She moved slowly, careful not to wake Emily. For a moment, relief washed over me. This was just a mother checking her child. But then she didn't leave. She stood near the Nightlight, face half lit, typing something into her phone. She smiled. Not a polite smile, a private one, the kind you don't share with empty rooms. I rewound the footage 3 times. My hands went cold. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe I was imagining it. But deep down, I knew I'd just opened a door that couldn't be closed again. I didn't confront her. I became a ghost in my own home, polite, helpful, silent. Every evening I kissed her cheek and told her I was tired, then waited in the living room for the house to sleep. The footage became my ritual. I watched her appear, linger, smile, never touching Emily, never waking her, just existing in the shadows. I started asking myself terrible questions. Who was she talking to? Why here? Why at this hour? I stopped sleeping properly. Coffee became my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'd never felt further from the woman I married, even though she was only a wall away. One night I almost walked in. My hand was on the door handle when I froze. If I opened that door, something would break, maybe the truth, maybe us. So I stayed, watching her through a lens instead of looking her in the eye. I hated myself for it. This wasn't who I was. This wasn't how adults solved problems. But fear is persuasive. It whispers that patience is strength when really it's avoidance wearing a nicer coat. The messages continued for weeks. My imagination filled in blanks it had no business filling. I stopped laughing. Sarah noticed. "Are you okay?" she asked one morning. I almost told her everything. Instead I said, "Just tired." She nodded, concerned, and that nearly broke me more than any lie could have. The night I finally decided to confront her, I expected anger, tears, something loud. What I got was silence. She sat at the edge of the bed, phone in her lap, and listened while I poured out everything: the Nightlight, the footage, the spiral I'd fallen into. When I finished, I felt hollow. Then she told me the truth. She wasn't talking to someone else. She was writing to herself, drafts of messages she was too afraid to say out loud. She'd been attending online support groups for months, struggling with feelings she didn't know how to name. The bedroom was the only place she felt safe, to be honest. I didn't know what to say. Relief and guilt collided inside my chest. All those sleepless nights, all those assumptions. I had turned my fear into a story that fit my worst expectations. She wasn't hiding from me. She was protecting herself. We cried that night, not dramatically, but quietly, the way adults do when they realize how badly they've missed each other. I unplugged the nightlight the next day. Emily asked why the star was gone. I told her we didn't need it anymore. She shrugged, already onto the next thought, because children don't live in yesterday the way adults do. That star sat in the trash for exactly 12 minutes before I pulled it out. Not because I needed it, but because I wasn't ready to forget what it represented. We started talking again, real talking, not logistical exchanges about groceries and schedules. She told me how isolated she'd felt. I told her how afraid I'd become. It didn't fix everything, but it reopened a door I'd silently closed months earlier. I still wake sometimes in the middle of the night, expecting to feel that old knot of worry. But now, instead of checking a screen, I reach for my wife's hand. Trust isn't something you install, it's something you maintain. The house feels different now, quieter in a healthier way, the kind that doesn't echo. Emily laughs more, so do we. Looking back, I realized the nightlight wasn't about catching a line. It was about avoiding a conversation I was scared to have. Fear doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes it looks like patience. I've learned that love isn't proven by vigilance. It's proven by vulnerability. You don't protect your family by watching them. You protect them by trusting them enough to listen. If you're reading this and you feel that same knot in your chest, talk first. Don't build stories in the dark. They grow teeth. That star-shaped nightlight still sits in a drawer. I keep it not as a tool, but as a reminder. Fear can make you mistake distance for danger. It can turn love into suspicion and silence into stories that aren't real. The real work isn't watching, it's asking, listening, and being brave enough to hear answers you didn't expect. Families don't fall apart because of secrets. They fall apart when no one feels safe enough to speak.